It's Divas That Care Radio. Stories, strategies, and ideas to inspire positive change. Welcome to Divas That Care, a network of women committed to making our world a better place for everyone. This is a global movement for women, by women, engaged in a collaborative effort to create a better world for future generations. To find out more about the movement, visit divasthatcare.com after the show. Right now, though, stay tuned for another jolt of inspiration.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Divas That Care. I'm Candace Gish. Well, I'm excited, everyone. I'm going to be introducing you to a new diva to our family. Her name is Andréa Albright, and I'm excited to be talking with this amazing author and publisher. I'm excited to get to know her just like all of you. I have not had the opportunity to talk with her yet, so this is going to be exciting for both of us. Andréa, welcome to our program. I'm so excited to have you.
Hello, Candace. Thank you. I'm so happy to be part of the diva community.
Well, we're excited to have you. This is the first time you and I have had an opportunity to chat, and I am very excited to get to know you. I had the opportunity to go through your website, and you've done some amazing things. But before I kind of dive into that, would you mind spending a couple of minutes introducing yourself to our diva community?
Absolutely. Well, I began my career as an entrepreneur 17 years ago. I've been through many highs and lows. I'm completely self-made. No one ever gave me a bunch of money. I had to figure all this out on my own. And I wrote my first book in 2006, and that started a movement. I reached over 10 million views on YouTube, 100,000 Facebook fans, and I was on the cover of Women's Health and Fitness magazine as a global leader in women's health. I then went on to create my own publishing firm because I saw how many authors are not being supported by their publishers. And I started Beverly Hills Publishing 2 years ago, and now we are disrupting the publishing industry.
Wow, that's amazing. And that is so great in so many ways, because we're seeing a lot of self-publishers out there, people that are wanting to get their book out there as quickly as they can. And I don't think they realize on how hard that is to be a self-publisher and do it all yourself. I want to talk a little bit about that too, because I think it's amazing when a person like yourself who has gone through it all is now a leader in the publishing area, and how that you're really able to assist others. And so that's kind of something I want to talk about, because I do meet quite a few quite a few authors on our program. And can you tell me a little bit about that program before I dive into your books themselves?
Yes, absolutely. So there are differences between being a self-published author, being a published author. And there's a reason why when you are a published author, it does have more credibility and status, especially if you're looking to attract global media and really be positioned as an authority in your industry. Yes, it does take a lot of work to publish a book. And so this is why it's important to find a partner who can represent the value of your brand. You know, I see a lot of these book in a weekend or get on the Amazon bestseller, but that is really just a short-term gimmick, because if you've invested 10, 15, 20 years into your career and your brand, if you don't have a book that's high quality and well published, it actually lowers the value of your brand. And so that's one of the reasons why I started my publishing firm, is because a lot of authors don't understand how important the branding of the book, the quality of the book, and positioning the book is what actually makes you an authority in your industry.
I love that. What type of authors are you looking for, or do you currently have?
Yes, so we specialize in thought leaders. And thought leaders are people who are evolving their industry. They are disrupting the status quo. And so these are the people who have found some innovation or proprietary information for their industry, and they are ready to publish their content, their ideas, because they know that their book is not just a book, it's actually a movement. And it also is what will share their legacy with the world.
I love that. So you're quite different from a lot of other publishers out there.
Yes. Other publishers will say, oh, you want to publish a book? Okay, great. What do you want to write about? And they leave it up to the author to come up with the name of the book. And, frankly, they don't know anything about positioning the book or marketing the book. And so once the book is done, even these huge big name publishers, I have clients that come to me for their second and third book, and they tell me, yes, I thought it was going to be this great opportunity. I even got a book advance, but it never went anywhere because the publisher doesn't support the author in promoting the book and getting the book to the market. And that philosophy is frankly broken. And this is why over 1 million books are published every year, but only 1% of those books make an impact in their market. And so what I do is instead of writing a book and then trying to sell it, I do all the marketing first. And what that means is that I analyze the market. I look at where is the market evolving? Where is the market going? And then we write and publish the book in 90 days. And once we release the book, we don't have to convince anybody to buy it because we know that the market is already looking for it, is already searching for it. And so this approach to marketing the book before you write it is my proprietary intellectual property. I'm the first publisher that is both a marketing firm and publishing firm combined.
I absolutely love that idea. I think that is absolutely extraordinary. And I have a feeling I know quite a few individuals that would be interested in being a part of that. So tell me, do you do a lot of the editing? Obviously you do a lot more with these authors then.
We actually position the author to be the authority in their industry. And so the book is just the beginning. When we know that the market is searching for the book, we create the book to serve the market. We do all the ghostwriting, the editing, the cover design, and the publishing of the book. I call it 7-star publishing. It's more than a 5-star, it's 7-star because we go that extra beyond to really publish a book that grabs the audience's attention. And then we have a partnership with a PR firm. And so we pitch the book to media. And media is looking for content and thought leaders. Now more than ever, we're actually glued to our media more than ever. So we are looking for new stories, new thought leaders, people who have a voice and an opinion. And so when the book is positioned in this way, now you get millions of dollars of free publicity, the best kind of advertising. Because when Forbes or Entrepreneur writes about you, that's the best positioning for you as a thought leader because they're the ones who are saying how amazing you are. It's unlike taking an advertisement and trying to advertise your business on Facebook or YouTube, but this is a third-party endorsement from the largest media organizations in the world, and that's what establishes you as the authority. Now when someone Googles you, they say, oh, wow, they're the real deal. You're in Forbes. You're an entrepreneur. You must be a true thought leader. And so the book is about positioning you so that the press will write about you. And once you get that kind of notoriety, that's when you're the authority.
I think that's awesome. I think that is an amazing way to help individuals out there. And I think that's what it's all about, too. We want to support one another. We want to uplift one another. And I think that a lot of people get discouraged and there's so many great ideas out there, but they don't have anybody in their corner to really support them. And what you're saying is that you're really a supporter of all these individuals. And I absolutely respect that. And I thank you so much for all that you're doing because we need more individuals like you.
Thank you so much for saying that, Candace. I always say that, When someone chooses me as their publisher, it's the highest honor. And whether I'm your publisher or not, I want to help authors to find the right publisher, because it is a very personal journey. Writing a book, you are very vulnerable, you're exposed, you're sharing your deepest ideas, your stories. And so I work with my authors to support them through the emergence into thought leadership, because a lot of people think that they're ready for it, but most people are not ready for the massive attention that comes when you are an authority. Now people are coming to your website, people are wanting to talk to you all the time, and you have to be ready for that. And so I do take it on it's a very spiritual experience for me and my authors.
Oh, wow. So if we have somebody that's listening today, because our show is actually listened to in over 30 countries around the world, and we wanted to say, if somebody is interested and they have an idea for a book and they want to talk to you, can they do that? Is there a process that they can get a hold of you?
Yes, absolutely. On BeverlyHillsPublishing.com, there's an application, and just fill in the application, and then whenever, it asks, where did you hear about me? Just talk about this radio show, and I'll know that you came in through the Diva community.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So now let's talk about your book. Tell me about this. I want to know the story behind everything.
Oh, you're so awesome. Well, I want to tell you everything. So this is my 26th book. And again, I'm not just a publisher, but I am also a thought leader as well. And so I have proven this model for myself in multiple industries, very competitive industries like health and fitness. And now this is my first book on entrepreneurship. And it's called Visionary Boss. And it really is the path when you are a visionary. There's a vision that comes through you, but the rest of the world doesn't see it. And by nature of being a visionary, we are less than 5% of the world's population. And we can see into the future. We see possibilities for humanity. We have the solutions for humanity. But the problem is that they all think we're crazy. And so they try to talk us out of it and try to tell us we need to be safe and, play it safe and not take risks. But actually, when you're a visionary, you are here to evolve humanity. You are here to find the solutions that evolve the status quo. And so as an entrepreneur for 17 years, I've always had my vision, and it has carried me through some of the most difficult times of my life, including when my husband left me for my bridesmaid. And it rocked me to my core, Yeah, it was horrible to feel like I was unlovable. And it was just, I felt betrayed on every level. This show is about sisterhood, and that was my sister. I trusted her with my life. And so as difficult as the divorce was, the betrayal of that sisterly bond is something that also really rocked me. And I had to make a decision. Either I'm never going to trust another woman as long as I live, or I'm going to do everything I can to evolve humanity so that women never fight over a man again. And so obviously I've chosen the latter. And this book and my story and my message, I want to help as many women and men as possible to know that in your darkest of despair, that is an opportunity to really tap into your vision and to discover why you're really here. And it was from that pain that I started Beverly Hills Publishing. That's how I emerged as a thought leader in entrepreneurship, is from that dark depression and that deep, really call of the soul. And so the book covers what I see every entrepreneur needs in order to succeed. The fact that 8 out of 10 entrepreneurs fail within the first 5 years, that's a horrific number. And so I want to support other visionary entrepreneurs to not only share their vision, but to evolve humanity, because that's what the vision is for.
Oh my goodness, I really love that. Thank you very much for sharing that, because it's a hard thing to share with others, and you're quite open with everybody, and I think that's really important because we all have this journey that leads us to where we're at today. And I'm always so blown away when I hear stories such as yourselves, and we have that choice in our lives. We can either go one way or we can go other. There's that big fork in the road, and you took this amazing step, and you've done so many amazing things because of that. So thank you so much.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
As I said, I'm overwhelmed with just getting to know you here and just to listen to your story. And so you've got 26 books out there. Can you share a little bit more about some of the other books? Because I know our listeners are going to be wanting to go check those out.
Yes, well, my 25 other books, they are all on health and fitness. I wrote my first book in 2006, and I remember being so terrified that I would sound stupid and nobody would buy it except my mom. You know, it was like, I remember the fear of being a first-time author. And the way that I got over it is I said, if I can help one person with my story, isn't it worth it? Isn't it worth putting myself out there and, you know, my ego? Yeah. I mean, really, it's not even about me. If I can help somebody, then it's worth it. And so I released that first book in 2006. And I'm so glad that I did, because it went on to create thousands of success stories all over the world. And I would get emails from people that just touched me in the deepest way. You know, one woman said, I was going to kill myself, and then I found your book, and it gave me the strength to last one more night. And then that turned my life around, and now I love my body. I'm taking care of myself, my health. And so it was emails like that just kept me going. And so the books are about health, and the first book is Reveal the Sin Within. And it's about my personal journey of how I stopped being a yo-yo dieter. And I would go on these crash diets that would only destroy my self-esteem and, little did I know, but also my metabolism. Because every time you go on those crash diets, you're losing muscle mass and you're actually slowing down your metabolism. And so I was on this perpetual self-hatred roller coaster. And then finally I broke free. And the way that I broke free was I stopped focusing on losing weight, and I started focusing on gaining health. And that became my new obsession. I threw away the scale. I stopped measuring myself. I stopped pinching my belly fat, and I stopped critiquing my image every time I walked by a mirror. And it became about, you know, honoring my body, respecting my body for what does it do for me, the gifts of life and joy and freedom and being with my family. And it became a new relationship. And I will say that that relationship with my body has been the core of my success as an entrepreneur, as a visionary, because even if you have, you know, the great vision or intelligence or emotional intelligence, if you don't have that self-love and care for your body, then it's only a matter of time before it will slow you down or ultimately take you out. And so that's what those books are about, is about nutrition and the science of loving your body.
I think that's fantastic. And what a great thing to give to the world, because in today's society, especially, like it's a struggle when I was growing up also, but children they have social media. They're always comparing themselves. They're seeing all this stuff. And we really need somebody to be real and true out there to let them know that it's okay to be who they are, and to give them that correct advice that they might need.
Yes, and thank you for saying that. I mean, it's been so rewarding to be able to help women to just break out of the mental sabotage that our culture puts us through. And I think about, how much energy and time girls and women waste on picking their body apart and the trying to control their foods and the calories and the counting. I mean, if we applied even a tenth of that energy into our businesses or writing books or serving humanity or starting a movement, I believe that women would have much more power on the planet today.
I agree with that. And as a mother of 4 girls, I really applaud you, because that's what my children need too. They need to realize that they are just amazing and they can do so much with their lives because of that.
Oh, that's beautiful. Congratulations on the 4 girls.
Well, they keep me busy, that's for sure.
I'm sure.
And that's, that's what the Divas That Care is all about. They were my big inspiration to be able to speak with amazing women like yourself that are, the change makers. You're the way makers of the world that are doing extraordinary things that are inspiring the rest of us. And that's what I always do, is that I find that these amazing women come on our programs and I'm inspired, and I'm so grateful that you have taken the time to talk with me today.
Oh, thank you for saying that. Well, I love what you stand for, and we definitely need it. Like I've shared with you my own story, as women need to support other women and stop competing with one another. And once we really get that dialed in, there's nothing that we can't do. And I want to celebrate women to be the best version of themselves and to stop comparing yourself and competing with other women. We've had the right to vote for over 100 years in the United States, and yet we still are less than 3% of the executives in Fortune 500 companies. And yes, there are more women business owners than ever, but less than 1% of them make it to 7 figures and beyond. And so most of them are still stuck in that hustle and that grind. And so we still have a long way to go as far as owning our power and accepting that, no, we're not equal, meaning we're not like men, but we have equal value. We are just as valuable in terms of gaining wealth and building assets and contributing our ideas. So that's what I want to help women to see.
Well, I think that's what you're doing. I think that you are doing that for all of us. And I thank you so much, because I'm actually looking forward to getting a hold of all of your books, because I think that it's not just good for myself, but for my daughters and for other family members that I do have out there. I want to ask you, one of the things I always ask my guests is there any tips, is there any tools, things that you can share with our listeners to help them, maybe move forward in either becoming an entrepreneur or in any aspect of the things that you love to share?
Well, I am really big on filling yourself up first thing in the morning. So I have a morning ritual, which I consider sacred time. And that is the time of day that no one can buy or take from me. It's not for sale. It is not available to anyone else. And I spend that time to meditate, do yoga. Sometimes I can take a shower or a bath, but just that self-care ritual first thing in the morning is really what feeds you and fuels you to allow you to be the leader in your organization, in your family. You become a better mom, a better friend. And so this mentality that a lot of women have that, I have to give, and they end up draining themselves. And then the energy that they do give is out of resentment, or they feel guilt. The other person knows it. The other person knows that it's not coming from abundance. And so it's just this downward spiral. Whereas if you start the morning ritual, and no, it's not 100%, but I will tell you it's like a shower. You can maybe go like a day or two without a shower, but afterwards you're like, I need a shower. You don't want to go like 3+ days without a shower. And it's the same thing with that morning ritual for me. It's like, that's the time where my mind detoxes with the meditation, the breathing, the nice music. Don't turn turn into social media. Don't turn on the news. Really be proactive with what you want to create in your mind, because that's where the vision comes through. The vision comes through when the mind is quiet. And if more of us had that morning ritual, I believe that we would see humanity on a deeper level, a thriving level, because it's when we tap into that inner source, that inner wisdom, that inner strength, that inner light, that's when we're able to give to others.
I really love that. I think that's a very beautiful tip. I think that it's important. And you know what? Thank you so much for leaving that with us. I just love that. I'm just sorry. I'm just sitting here smiling and listening to you. That's what I kind of love about these programs. I should ask you, is there, how can our listeners, check out, do you have a website? Can they check you out on social media? Is there any way that you did leave your information about Beverly Hills Publishing, but is there any other ways that they can contact you?
Yes, I actually have a free gift. If you go to my main website, AndréaAlbright.com, there's a free gift where I give you a $100,000 book launch and implementation checklist. So even if you're thinking about writing a book or you're preparing for your book, it's important to really get, the revenue back from the book, because that's what will feed you to make more books, to grow your business. And so I want to help everybody to make at least $100,000 on their next book launch. So that's my free gift. If you go to AndréaAlbright.com, you can enter your email. And then I've also got more videos and emails that I send out regularly.
Oh, my goodness. Wow. That's absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for doing that.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I had a lot of fun chatting with you, and I hope, Andréa, that you come back on our program and that you share with our listeners, anything else that you're going to be doing, because I think that what you're doing right now, and I think with everything that you're going to be probably doing in the future here, that we would love to share that with our listeners.
That would be an honor to be back. I have had so much fun with you, Candace. You ask great questions, and I love your enthusiasm, and what you're doing is so important, and I love to support the movement in every way possible.
So much. And we will definitely be sharing all of your social media and this show on all of our platforms this evening. So thank you so much. And I want to do a big shout out to all of our amazing listeners. It's because of you that our program has been listened to for over 10 years. Thank you so much for supporting our amazing guests that come on our program and supporting our other hosts on our network. So if you have any questions, if you'd like to get a hold of us, you can always go to divasthatcare.com. Andréa, thank you so much. And I hope all of you have a fantastic day and a fantastic weekend. Until next time, everyone.
Thanks for listening. This show was brought to you by Divas That Care. Connect with us on Facebook, on Instagram, and of course on divasthatcare.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter so you don't miss a thing.